We are going to be getting started any moment now. So come on in and make yourself comfortable. Let us begin. We're live on YouTube and we're going to be talking about this trophy wife situation as well as some of the follow-up. Ugh, there's so many ads circling through that I'm trying to get past them. Skip,
Hi,
skip, skip.
ladies.
All right, there we go. So I got that loaded up. Let me go ahead and load up the back end of my YouTube as I wait for you all to come in, and then we're going to get live on a bunch of other platforms. What would be the best way to handle this right now? All right, well, we're already live, so let me go into the studio, the YouTube studio. Welcome in, everyone. Let me refresh these comments to make sure that they are bringing in the new. All right, let's see. Community content. Hi, welcome in, Loretta. You are first person up at bat. Hey, Elle, you are second in the room. Let me go ahead and get my uh, let me get my monetization on the video. Actually, you know what? Let me do this. New trophy. I need you all to let me know if you all I want you all to let me know if you all get the let me download save image as. This is trying to save it as a work file. Let me put it in the downloads. So you know what? We can come out and we can look at some other videos a little bit later. So if you have something that you want to send me, by all means, send it to me on my website. The work file did not save, so let me just screenshot this real quick. As you come in, go ahead and rep your city, your state, your country. Let me know where you're coming in from. I want to download this. So what do I do? Capture. Oh, wow. Alice says, I trust you, Todd. Alice, keep that energy because I want to show you all something and the reason why I'm doing this video. All right, so Alice, we're gonna open up the phone lines because I want to hear from you all because there are a lot of people who are coming down real hard on me for having empathy for, or asking you all to have empathy for this woman and her children. So I just updated the thumbnail. Now let me get my monetization on because um, okay, so V is already coming off the rope swinging. So great. I don't have notes for today. We're just going to talk. I want to tell you all what I have discovered. All right, so I got the monetization up, the thumbnail up. I'll fix the thumbnail once um I did see the video. However, so look, there's a lot that we have to talk about. There's a lot we have to talk about because, and then also, this conversation has inspired me. Oh, we got Kansas City, Missouri in the house. This conversation has inspired me to get some graphics made of the rules of my show because there are people who confuse where we are and why we're here. Give me just 1 second. Let me take my little herbal supplement to stop me from screaming. Let me take my chill pill right now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my chill pill. Which is a little herbal supplement for your girl. So that, because I could already feel myself getting ready to start screaming at people, and I don't want to do that. Um, so for those of you who, because you know, when I started school, I had all of this anxiety and all this other stuff, and somebody saved me. You know, you know what? I don't know if I should show you all. You could write to me behind the scenes because I'm not promoting any product because you know these I'm not being sponsored and all of that other stuff, but all I will say is lemon balm. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say from there. So let's go ahead and get live on some of these other platforms. Let's get live on the ones that take a little bit longer to get live on, like TikTok Live Studio, because we are going to open up the phone lines. And this whole situation inspired me to write out the rules of my show and make it into a graphic that I can put up on the screen because I feel like people confuse why we're here. We're not here to regulate somebody else's lives. We're here to regulate our own lives. That's why we're here. So there are plenty of other channels that you can go to if you want to be in the peanut gallery hollering like you some fucking gladiator in Greece hollering down this woman. Go there and do that on somebody else's platform. I'm here to assist you in becoming your best self. We're going to talk about all of this. Let me get my login for this other platform here because I feel like people are just not getting it. So much so I had to go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT why people can't see why and I had to ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT did give me some tips on how I could have done it better. But you know what? Same shape. We were watching the video for the first time together, and that was my natural reaction to it. And you all know that I'm in school, so there was actually, it's so funny, everything is happening in tandem. This week's reading, so thank you to the people who are supporting. Oh, what is this? Authenticator? Hold on, give me 1 second. I just have to go to the Authenticator app and get this code for my two-factor authentication. You know, these things stop people from getting hacked because hackers, oh, the code changed. Hackers are getting more and more clever, and people have to try to stay ahead of the curve with the doggone hackers. All right, so now I'm logged in. Give me just 1 second. I'm just setting up my broadcast. For anybody who is upset that I'm setting up my broadcast, what I would love for you to do is I would love for you to have all of the moving pieces that I have and live produce a show like how I live produce and do it better. Show me how it's done and then come and then sell your services to me. Perfect it, then sell your services to me so that I can learn, so I could be under your tutelage. You know what I'm saying? Because people always have so much to say. And I think that there's an extra added component because we're Black and so many of us are traumatized and we're coming from trauma responses ourselves. And I'm just getting live I just got live on TikTok. Let me get live on Instagram right now because some of these require stream keys. And then we're going to get live on the other platforms. We got London, England in the house. So listen, we're going to talk about it in just a moment. Don't you worry. It says an error occurred. Please try again. Let me get this. Come on, stream. Is that not the stream key? Copy. Let me get this. Delete all of this and put the stream key in there. Save. All right. Now we're getting live on Instagram. I did not see, if you all are still watching people who they themselves are quite problematic, you see, people would like to pick and choose. Go ahead. People talking about they saw somebody's video who this person themselves was exposed as a fraud. A fraud exposing, okay. Yeah. you do what it is that you need to do for you. We're going to be talking about a lot of that. We're live on IG. Let's go ahead and get live on the rest of these platforms. Let me put this up on the screen here. Let's do that right there. There we go. All right, let's get this timer up. All right, get some applause going. That's pretty loud. All right, we are live on Facebook. All right, we are getting live on LinkedIn. All right, we are live on Twitch, and of course, we are live on YouTube. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. As you see the graphic on the side of the screen right there, we're going to be discussing the trophy wife. We're going to be having a live discussion. I'm going to open up the phone lines. Before we do that, there are a few things that I want you all to see, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people saying things. There's a lot of people coming out with their version of the breakdown and their version of the expose. And there's people coming out with additional footage and all of that. I want to talk about our initial stance when this story first broke. And I want us to have a discussion about where we are at, why we are here, what we're doing here, and how we can move forward in the best way possible for ourselves. So I do not have a script. I have a general idea of what it is that I would like to talk about. As you all know, I'm a self-love specialist. I'm also a certified clinical hypnotherapist. Right now, I am in a graduate program of psychology. And one of the classes that I took this year, and it's just about, so thank you to the people who've been staying up with my blog. If you don't know, go to tonyatko.com/blog. I've been doing weekly updates, and I'm like 2 weeks behind in the update, so please give me some time to catch up. But I did put up week 9 today, just giving you all some behind the scenes of what week 9 was like and what it is that I went through, etc., etc. Here. There's somebody that's lost the ability for their comments to show up on my screen. Mention another content creator in my live besides the content creator that we're talking about. Post links in my live and you will be restricted. One person has already been restricted with no fanfare. Don't get yourself blocked, please. You know, a quick segue. I'm so happy that I'm in works with an app creator, because all of these comments on the screen are going to be put behind a paywall come 2025. Because some of you feel like you can just flex and just put anything on the screen because it's live. And look, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of problems. Let me just say this for the record. Let me put her thing up there. I want each and every one of you to please understand that you are not better than her. I think that's part of what the issue is, that there's so many people who want to jockey for for position of how well you do things versus other people. There is not a person on this live, including me, who is better than her. And if you think that you are, this isn't the space for you. You are sadly mistaken. Listen, we are all here on this earth for a particular reason that only the inner calling of our soul individually knows. There is no one here whose life is free of mistakes. Not a person on this broadcast. There is not a person on this broadcast who hasn't made dumb mistakes. There isn't a person on this broadcast who has done everything the right way. There is nobody here who is above this woman, and this woman is not above any of us here. It's point blank, period. And the sooner that we can come to understand that we are all fallible, the better your life will be. Let me explain this to you right now and right here so that we can all come to an understanding, right? I am a life coach from an accredited program, right? I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I am currently attending an Ivy League school with a very low entrance rate in a program that is very competitive. I am in a psych program on a graduate level. I am sitting here before you with trainings under my belt. I am not one of these content creators that want to sit up here and ooh and ah, put some lipstick on, pump my breast up real high, smack my lips in the camera, and start calling people stupid and all types of names. That is not me. Let me explain something to you. This woman right here is not my client. You want to know who my clients are? You're my clients. You are here on my broadcast, participating in a service that I am providing for you. I am here to talk about self-love in ways that you can love yourself more. I am here to talk about ways in which you can better your life. I am having a one-day retreat, a 1 or 2 day retreat, depending on whether you get the general or the VIP, in New York City, December 14th. I'll talk a little bit about that with you all, and I will show you I'll show you the page for it in case, because there's one more ticket left, and I know that there's one more person out there who is interested in doing the type of work that it takes to get onto the other side of wherever it is that you are right now. So this is the page right here. You can go to my website. You will see it on the main page. And we'll talk a little bit about that right before or right after the next break, right? I told you if you put up another content creator's name on my broadcast, you're getting restricted. There's another person just got restricted. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tonya TKO. And on this channel, it is a rule of my channel that the topics that though we are showcasing people on the screen, we are really only talking about ourselves. Any moment that you spend trying to analyze somebody else is a moment that you've squandered that you could have spent analyzing yourself. This isn't about her. This is about you. This is about how do you use this information to make your life better. Let me take all the comments off the screen. Since you all want to get jiggy with it, let me get jiggy with it too. I can take them off for the entire broadcast. Fuck with me if you want to. Fuck with me if you want to. Your comments on the screen are privilege. It's not a fucking right. Let me explain something to you, right? My average viewer is between the ages of 25 and 55. That's my average viewer, with smack dab in the middle, 45 years old. 35, 45, average. That's the median, rather. Eddie Murphy came out with a saying where he was like, you got 75 summers 75 winters, 75 vacation summers, 75 winter breaks. You've got 75 allotted on average in each life. Some of you are 3/4 of the way through that. How much longer are you still going to continue to do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? I am telling you, as a professionally trained woman here before you, as a professional, listen to me, that the way onto the other side is self-reflection, self-compassion, and self-love. That's it. That's it. You could sit here talking about what she's done wrong and how she's stupid this and how she's that. And you could sit here and do that if you want to. 45 of your summers are gone. You got a good 20 to 30 more summer breaks left in your life. How much longer are you going to continue doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? Listen, I have spoken to you all. When I put up my surveys, you answer, and I know that you all standing there throwing rocks and hiding your hands have issues. You know what? Let me put this up on the screen real quick. Here we go, right? Here. Let me get these. All right. When I did my survey, what I found out from you all is that each and every one of you have been hurt from past relationships, done dirty, betrayed by friends that you trusted. But your ultimate heartbreak came as a child when your parents conditioned you to accept, ignore, or even seek out neglect and mistreatment from others, right? Here, and I got these icons specially made to be black because the majority of the women who wrote in were black women. You lost part of your voice, feel depleted, abandoned, alone. You've allowed yourself to be used, abused, without speaking up for yourself, ignoring red flags and USOPs. USOPs are the early warning signs of potential problems. Secretly afraid of being abandoned, subconsciously hoping if you could heal that relationship and get that person to act right and love you, that it will heal the relationship with your mother or father inside. Listen. This is what we're talking about here. Here we go. Here, let's continue forward. You've hidden yourself in self-abusing activities like food, alcohol, drugs, clutter, work, mothering at the expense of your wellness. Your negative self-talk tells you you're not good enough and that you won't succeed, that you're an imposter, so you procrastinate, self-sabotage, accept less than you deserve, and put up with more than you want to. Worst of all, you blame yourself. This is the event that I'm having in December. You can go to my page and read it. If there's anything that I'm saying on this broadcast that resonates with you and where you are in your current journey. All right. So let's talk a little bit, right? Because there's some things that I want to show you, and then I'm going to open up the phone lines, and then we're going to go forward from there. There's a saying that goes, the way you do anything is the way that you do everything. And the people, you know what, before we get into that, let me just say this right off the bat. I was sexually abused as a little girl. I was sexually abused by someone in my family when I was a little girl, before I even got the chance to get out of my house. And you know what? That's actually on the page. You can read my story because I didn't come here to play, right? So here's my story. Like you, I was harmed as a child before I even left my house. Molested at the age of 7. My mother died when I was 19. And last summer, after I had a major surgical operation with complications, my last living parent, my father, revealed that the type of love I thought we had was made up of my optimism and deep desire for it to be true. So I'm not coming from no high horse. I'm not coming from a space of not knowing. I'm coming from a space of knowing what it takes to get onto the other side. If you are still here, interested in discussing what this woman did wrong, this isn't the place for you. On my channel, the people that we are discussing are a proxy for you to examine yourself. This is why at the end of every video, I talk to you about your self-love lessons, because at the end of the day, this isn't about her. She has to deal with her life consequences herself. She has to deal with living in that existence where under her watch, 2 of her children, at least 2, because she didn't say whether or not the boys were tested too, but I hope that everyone was, right? Because it looked like he was raping everybody in the damn house, her and the kids. She has to do the work to heal herself. She is not my client, you are. The only person I want to hear you discussing right now is yourself. Don't come to my web. There were people who came to my website to try to discuss this woman. I had to block at least one of them. Yeah, I said no need to write back. Your message won't come through. I spoke my piece in the video. And I've come back to open up the lines for you all to be able to have your chance to speak your piece as well. But the piece that I need for you to speak is I need for you to speak about yourself. Let me tell you something about empathy and forgiveness. Empathy and forgiveness doesn't mean that what the person did is all right. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you stay in a person's life. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for you to let go. It took me most of the decades of my life until I got into hypnotherapy school. When I did this exercise that revealed to me that all of this stuff that I had been holding on to from my parents and the fact that I got molested in my childhood home, they didn't know. It took me most of the decades of my life to come to this epiphany that they didn't know. While it was happening, they didn't know. There's somebody who sent me a video of the woman who was on live, and the children were fighting or screaming, hollering in the background for a little bit, right? And then they stopped, right? And from what it is that I heard and from what it is that I know about raising children, children are constantly screaming, fighting, tumbling, all types of stuff. And look, anybody who's raised children know you don't run for every single time that they start screaming. If you do, you'll burn yourself out as a parent. So after a while, you have to listen. You have to let some things just, like some fights, some arguments, sometimes you just have to. Was he in the process of molesting the children while she was live on air? I didn't hear that. Some people are saying that they hear the girl screaming, "Daddy, stop," or something along those lines. Look, I feel like a lot of us are operating off of limited information and filling in the blanks and the gaps to fit a narrative that we have a vested interest in having be true. Like in some of the things that I read, about this relationship that we have with our parents and what that looked like. And some of us rightfully are angry at our parents, and we know and we have full information about what happened in our situation. We do not have full information about what was going on in hers. We don't. And at the end of the day, right? The extension of compassion that we show for another person is the extension that comes from within us. How you do anything is how you do everything, a saying goes. And in the same ways that there are people who are salivating to beat up on this woman when she has come out and she is saying, these things occurred on my watch. I was a victim of XYZ. Like, she said that she was a product of rape. Her mother was raped and conceived her and gave birth to her. Not only that, she was also molested, and I believe she may have been, she was molested and raped as well as an adult. I believe she was molested as a child as well as raped as an adult. And now this situation has come to the forefront in her home. Why? I don't know. I don't have enough information to figure all of that out. That's not my job. My job is to talk with you all about what it'll take for you to get on the other side of where it is that you are. So if you're in a position like her, right, where your child was molested under your watch, how do you find the healing that you need? Is it going to come from you being angry at yourself? Is it going to come from you beating yourself up and tearing yourself down verbally with that inner critic, that inside voice that can be so cruel and harsh? Is that where it's going to come from? The data shows that self-compassion, that forgiving yourself is the way to healing. That when we are, so listen, like I told you, I'm in a graduate program right now. And this is part of the reason that I feel that we as Black people, that we need to get our information from qualified sources. Because it wasn't until I had my critical theory of trauma class that I saw what trauma looked like and how it plays out for people. And how people are born a clean blank slate. How do they get from here to selling their body on the side of the road? How do they get from here to on the internet wanting to be in some gladiator style ring, tearing down another human being? How do we get from here, the blank slate, to being on live crying about how your children in your home were harmed? How do we get from there to there? There's a lot of things that happen in between. And it wasn't until I took this class that I softened on the inside, like really, really softened. It is my general stance to not focus on the subject of the videos, but to really turn inward and look at ourselves. It is my general stance. However, after going to school, because you know what? I'll say this, because there are people who are like, oh, if she were an unambiguous Black woman, you wouldn't be saying that, Tonya. When Risa Tisa came out with Who the F Did I Marry, we showed compassion to her. It is my general stance to not focus on the issue, but the solution for you, not for that person. Risa Tisa was not my client. This woman, Isis, the new trophy wife, she is not my client. She is an example that we are using to be able to look at ourselves, to think about ways in which we can what? What are the self-love lessons that we can see from her story? I think about that. Think about that. So here, there are going to be some things that I'm going to show you on the screen right now. So actually, let me get this up right here because I have it. All right. So let us get this here. All right. So this is a person who wrote on my video, and this person has garnered a lot of likes, etc. And I wrote back to this person, but it seems like they wrote back as well. Tonya, as someone who has followed and supported you for years, today I regretfully will be unsubscribing. I have been noticing that you have become very rude and close-minded when opinions that you ask for are not in your favor. You hung up on a caller as she tried to explain her opinion and how her trauma shaped her perspective. To me, that concerns me about you as a level-headed mental health professional. At times when you are asking for support, you come off as inconsiderate of what is going on with the economy. Many people barely can afford to live, and layoffs are happening nationwide. You have internalized that as people not wanting to buy your classes and started attacking. As someone who has watched and supported your channel for years, this past year I've watched you turn entitled and rude. I wish you much success and hope that you reflect on how you too behave in nasty and condescending ways when things are not in your favor. Peace and blessings. Okay, so this is my first time reading this. I skimmed it before I just skimmed the top part of it, and because when people write in block text like this, it's difficult to skim, so I just go ahead and I just skim the first and last sentence. That's it. Let me just address some of this. This person is apparently counting my pockets. Dear, this is what I'm saying. Analyze yourself. Don't sit up here trying to analyze other people because you are way off. Dear, my event is sold out. I have one ticket left, and that ticket is to supplant someone who may not be able to come. Other than that, my event is sold out. Everyone behind the scenes already knows that. We even had our first meeting, our group meeting last weekend. Play with yourself, not with me, because what it is that I'm doing, the work that I'm doing here is important. Rude. Everybody has a different opinion of what they consider to be rude. There's a lot of people who like folks to sit up in their face, smirking, snirking, and snarling. Meanwhile, they go to the poll and doing something much, much different behind your back. I keep it very motherfucking 100% goddamn real on this channel. Make no effing mistake about that. New Yorker through and through. There are some people who consider me rude. Yes, rude, but real. I am always real, and I practice tact when I feel that it is necessary. The person who got hung up on was not explaining her opinion. She thought she was going to be able to bloviate on my channel because, listen, either we're going to have a conversation or we're not. If you want to do a monologue, go to your channel and do that. My airwaves are not for you to try to push your pussy on me, beating me to the side with your breast and all of that. No, go to your page and do that. I am not here to make myself amenable. I'm not here to be sweet and caressing. That's not why I am here. I am here to get the point across as the point needs to be gotten across in the way that it needs to be gotten across. That's why sometimes I will punctuate my point with profanity. Like earlier in this broadcast, I said, fuck with me if you want to. I said it. I do not make any apologies for myself because what it is that I'm doing here, I am fully cognizant and aware. Like I told you, I am a trained professional, and I want to show you all something. There's a book called Pedagogy of the Oppressed, right? And there's a guy, listen, let me show you all this real quick. I want to show you all something, right? Let me go to my, because I just closed it up, or is it in my, I'm just going to go to my history real quick, right? Because I want you all to see this, right? So that you can understand where I am coming from. Here we go, right? Here. Oh, this is not the right. This is, I'm trying to get to Pedagogy of the Oppressed, dear. What are you trying to open up right there? Let me go open this back up again because it's trying to open up the trophy wife. All right, let's It's almost time for our dance break. So let me pause that real quick so that I could get this history back up so that I could show you this, because I feel that this is important for you to see. That's why I'm taking the time to pull this up so that you can see what it is that I mean, so that you could get an understanding of where I'm coming from. Here. Pedagogy of the oppressed. So you all know that because I'm in school, I find different ways to get information in. Sometimes, so I'm using Notebook LM to turn some of these long papers into podcasts so that I can listen and get the gist and then be able to scrub through. You all know that I started doing that about week.
Then towards the
Here.
now that
All right. Here, I want you all to see this real quick so that you could so this is from the book Pedagogy of the Oppressed. This guy is talking about the book. This is a book I want to read, but I kind of wanted to get the general sense of what the book was about before I went and invested the time into trying to read this book, because I have a lot of other
we have
readings.
concluded our discussion.
Hold on, I need to refresh my, for some reason, I need to, and then let me open up my settings and load so connection on here so that when I play this.
Of pedagogy of.
All right, so this is his name is Dr. Masood Raja. Listen, I just want you to hear just a few sentences of what he's saying.
Now that we have concluded our discussion of pedagogy of the oppressed from chapter 1 all the way to the end of chapter 4, here is a compilation of my summaries of all the chapters. I've decided that instead of
Come on, listen. When I did my NLP, because I'm also an NLP certified NLP practitioner as well. When I did my NLP course, it talked about mirroring, right? Now this guy's energy, listen, his video has the views that it's going to get, right? The way that he is speaking, I personally, the energy of it just is not going to, like, for me, listening an hour, a few hours to a person speaking like that, I need a little bit more energy in what it is that I'm listening to, right? So when I see somebody talk about how I'm not their flavor, that is all right. Like this guy, the way that he's talking, he's somebody's flavor. Everybody is not for everybody. You have to find somebody that you resonate with. So if you feel that because of my stance, because of my energy, because of this, listen, I don't attempt to be the largest YouTuber on the planet. That's not my goal. I am here helping people. I am here doing my very best to assist those who want to be assisted. So with her pocket watching and all of that, I don't even know what she's talking about. Here comes another person, right? Here comes another person saying, I like Tonya, but sometimes she can come across as extremely insensitive indeed. She showed lots of empathy for the lady in the video, but when a caller was sharing a very difficult moment of her life, which she was essayed as a child, Tonya didn't even say something like, I am very sorry this happened to you. Like, absolute silence. I was shocked. It's like she just wanted the lady out of the line so she could confront the other lady she opened the line for. I guess when you have a YouTube channel, you really need to develop ultra thick skin for all the toxicity that comes your way. I feel like in Tonya's case, this necessary ultra self-protection makes her come across as someone who truly wants to help people, but also emanates sometimes the energy of an overactive solar plexus chakra, an overactive throat chakra, and an underactive heart chakra. You see, now she done went through all of my doggone chakras in her damn opinion. This is what I'm saying. This whole comment, imagine if that time was invested inward and only inward to clear up your own chakras, to figure out what's going on with you instead of you trying to analyze somebody from afar, right? And then I wrote back and I said to her, it is in my training not to apologize for people's trauma, nor offer platitudes which indicate that they are less than me in ability to recover, heal, advance, or make meaning out of their life circumstances. It is in my training to put my personal feelings aside when people are telling me their story. When a person is telling me their story, I prefer to listen and not pollute the interaction with my judgments, and maintain the belief that that everything happens for our good, and that each person is more than capable of successfully coming out on the other side. The moment I break this sacred trust and professionalism, I am now susceptible to things which corrupt the interaction and doesn't help the person. Pity or sympathy is not what they need for empowerment. I validate people's feelings. However, you have to remember people have lived this. And me hearing it for the first time, I must remain stoic. You nor I know what they need in that moment. And this is my stance. When a person is telling me about their trauma, I'm not going to apologize to them for their trauma. And as a matter of fact, I'm in the process right now of interviewing therapists because I'm looking for a person who can help me dive into the past, to work on some things to just make sure that I am shining as bright as a diamond, right? Somebody says you definitely softened. Yeah, I have. Let me just tell you this. Like I said, I'm a trained life coach. And there are a few different things. Now, first of all, I'm not this person's friend. I'm not. I'm not here to be and potentially trauma bond with you. I'm not here to offer platitudes and be like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm in the process of interviewing therapists right now. And I told a therapist that I was molested as a child. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not. Now, this is something that I have already worked through, and this is something that has helped me become the woman that I am. I'm not sorry for anything that has happened in my life. And if you as my therapist are sitting up there talking about how sorry you are, now there are two things that can happen. And I'm telling you, as a trained life coach, there are two things that can happen. The person can see that I can be moved into pity, right? I can be moved into pity from their story. And they can use that as an excuse not to advance. They can use that as the excuse to now attempt to rally my sympathy or distract from the job at hand by attempting to elicit sympathy or whatever it is that they think that they may need in that moment. The woman who called in, Rose, I know who she's talking about. This is not the first time that this woman has called in. And when she stated that she had been sexually assaulted as a child, it is not my duty, it's not my job at that moment to impose my sympathy onto a situation that she has not expressed, that she needs some sort of sympathy for. And then with me as the professional in the situation, I'm not going to offer sympathy for your life journey. Your life journey is sacred and unique, and everything that has come into your life has bettered you in some way. This is why we're here doing this work. So nonetheless, let's continue going forward. Because this is how a lot of people get caught up in, I'm going to be honest with you, this is how a lot of you get caught up with abusive men, because they tell you something that they know can elicit sympathy from you, and then the next thing you know, now you're doing all this and that, acting from that space. When an abusive motherfucker tells me about the whatever the fuck sympathy situation, he trying to elicit some sorrow from me, it's not going to come. It's just not going to come, because I know that there is more to the story. I know that we all have agency, and I know that in order to get on the other side, we cannot stay in that victim energy. This is how so many of you are right now, even to this day, supporting a content creator I already exposed, because this content creator is sitting up there eliciting pity from you all, and you all just pulling out your titty. Oh, let me just go and wet nurse you. Oh, go ahead, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. That's so let's see. So then the person, looks like the person came back and said, oh, this long block ass text. I'm not even gonna read all of this. You could pause on the screen and read the shit if you want to. Here, please, you cut that woman off and hung up on her as she was attempting to answer when it wasn't going in your favor. No, what she was attempting to do was talk about that woman. Don't call up on my phone lines trying to discuss what somebody else did wrong. Don't do it. This is not what my airwaves are for. And then I asked her to pause for a moment, and she was like, no, I'm going to get this out. The fuck you are? And that's how she got hung up on right there. Impulsive? No, listen. I got to move my fingers fast when it's time to control the course of the conversation. Yeah, I move my fingers fast. Impulsive. Reflex, baby. I'm reflexive. So nonetheless, here go the person, dismiss, explain, you were impulsive and wrong. If you don't feel that you have to listen, empathize, and relate to people who make you money, see, this person is pocket watching. Come on, you know what? Let's go to a dance break right now, and we're gonna put on the song "Tell 'Em No," because apparently this person is trying to watch and see how much money I have, jealous apparently of wherever it is that they feel that I am. Come on now, stop this madness. Let me get this "Tell 'Em No" up here. When somebody trying to watch your pockets, what do you tell them? What do you tell them when it's time to watch your pockets? Tell them no, you don't watch my pockets, baby. No.
You've been trying to cater to all the needs. You've been feeling guilty for so long. Maybe they're not friends, they are enemies. Don't you tell them yes, tell them get lost.
Listen.
'Cause every time you go and ask for help, you say sorry, but I'm busy. So you end up doing it yourself.
Don't watch my pockets.
Hold up, baby, don't take it.
Oh no.
Friendship if they just
was 3 minutes of movement. So yes. Whoo! So no, stop watching my pockets. What are you doing? It's really bizarre. First of all, you don't know how much I get paid to do this. This is not a big channel. And a lot of by the moment that I say the word rape and molest in a video, who's getting paid on that now at this point? Come on, this is why you see all of these content creators using words like grape. Show me one time I've ever used that word in my video. So I talk about real subjects on here. Money is not the object. You assisting yourselves in becoming a more whole, healed, functional person is the goal. So you all are listening to people using all different types of code words and all this other stuff. If you ever want to know the name of any song on my platform, all you have to do is use Shazam. All right. So let's continue with where we were. Nah, that's not the thing. Here. So the person is talking all of this stuff. And then take care, Tonya, TKO. Look, there was zero accountability and nothing but deflection and gaslighting. Our time has expired. Take it. Oh, fuck, get the fuck. Leave. It's like, come on. It's like, but this is how these people do it. They be like, I'm breaking up with you. I'm leaving now. I'm going to leave you. I'll go. Just go. It's, look, if you have to take care of yourself. If you know that this is not the environment for you, if you don't feel that you can get where it is that you need to be, just like with that person's video with pedagogy, I tried listening, but it got a little bit better after that first intro, but the energy was just, wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. Oh, there's somebody who's watching from Eritrea. I know that's right. Welcome, girl. Welcome. And then so this person says, Tonya, look. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. All of this? This is why I be skimming. I be having too many comments. Tonya, look. It's simple, Tonya. If people aren't paying you for your services, you don't put on your coach uniform. You stay a human being interacting with other human beings. When you're online, you're first and foremost a content creator discussing viral topics. This is why, you know what? If you all how many people here noticed that since I enrolled in school, that I barely discuss viral topics anymore? That this was one of the first ones. How many people, if you put up your hand, put up a 1 if you noticed that. Don't try to reduce me into who it is that you think that I am. And I am, like you said, I am working here. We are not here in a friend circle. I am sitting here in a position, in a professional position. So one person says you all are paying me. The next person says that you all are not. I'm still working, whether I'm getting paid or not. I am working, and this is my training. So many of you want to sit up there and you want to go to untrained people who are doing what's not in your best interest. When I created that book back there, the Book of Affirmation Self-Love, it's sold out right now. Okay, so people notice that. This is the Book of Affirmation Self-Love. You can see it says self-love on there, but the light is shining bright, right? When I made this book, right, it's an affirmations journal and workbook, right? In the beginning of it, I was like, you can write your own affirmations, right? I was like, you can reword these and write your own affirmations, until I spoke to a person to hear the affirmation that they were writing. And the affirmation wasn't going to get them, the way that they wrote it, it wasn't going to help rewrite their subconscious programming. So it's like you all like to go to people who don't know what it is that they're doing. Toxic people who, on one hand, they over there tearing down women, getting sued and lawsuits, and sitting up there putting on fake ears and all this other stuff for the people in front of them, just out there making money, doing fake exposés and toxic as hell. But they're creating some chemical reaction in you, and the person is like, oh no, are you, come on. I'm a professional. It's not that simple. Why don't you go do that? Why don't you go show me how it's done then? I'm not reading the rest of that comment. I didn't even know it was there, but whatever. I'm moving on from there. There's something else that I wanted you all to see. There's something else I wanted you all to see. There's another comment. I just want to move past these, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. But listen, I'm going to give the rules for the phone lines, and this is why I need to have the rules posted so that you all can see them when you call in, so that you know. One of the rules, and for people who are here from last year when I used to take phone calls, when I begin speaking, you stop speaking. The person who got hung up on felt that she was going to talk over me. I don't give a fuck what she was talking about. When I ask her to stop speaking, she needs to stop. If we're having a conversation, let us have a conversation. This is not a place for you to just stand up on some bully pulpit saying whatever the hell it is that you want to say on my airwaves. When I ask you to stop speaking, stop speaking. We're having a conversation. You're not just doing a monologue. I'm a human being. You called in and we're talking. Either we converse or we're not. It's like, and then people get shit twisted. Come on. People, it's like, come on. Unbelievable. Let me see if I can find this last comment that I wanted you all to see so that we can move on from here. I think, hold on. I just, where, oh, here. I'm trying to find it so that I could, this person, okay, hold on. That is a good song. I do like that. Tell him no. How funny. I'm trying to find the comment. I responded back to it. It had, let me see, control find 27. Because the person claims, where's the control find? Control F. Here we go, 27. All right, here we go. This is what I wanted to show you all. The next. Oh, come on. You're doing too much, Windows. All right, here we go. So this person says, oh my God, you see, and people expect for me to be reading their whole comments? All right. This person says around the 27-minute mark, okay, here. This is when I told the person in the beginning of the video to keep that energy because I wanted you to see this. The person says around 27 minutes, for a therapist to say that it's understandable for someone to get married to a stranger within a week of dating them. You're not a therapist that I would ever trust. She obviously has some very emotionally unhealthy behaviors and expectations. No emotionally healthy person, blah, 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 blah. And then they go on and on and on. And I responded back and said, one, at the 27-minute mark, I never said it was okay or not okay. We don't have enough information about what made her make that decision. We don't even know if it was a week. My main point is that there are situations for every case. Number two, I'm not a psychological therapist. I'm a hypnotherapist. Number three, you're not my client, and we don't have a relationship where I'm asking for you to trust or vice versa. 4, I only skimmed your message, which was true. I didn't invest in it. But I will say that since I've written this, I have changed my stance into realizing that the people who watch are my clients. You all are my clients. However, we don't have a relationship in which we have established the trust between us, right? So a person saying that they wouldn't trust me because I am offering the opportunity for us to look within ourselves, to have empathy for her. There was somebody that I responded to talking about how that we need to hold her accountable or something, that she needs accountability. Accountability itself, it's not something that we can force on another person. Like, she has to be accountable within herself. She didn't come to me and ask me how to hold her accountable or how to fix this situation. She didn't come to me for that. She is a person who we were watching to talk about this situation and use her by proxy to really discuss ourselves. There was a person who came out in the beginning of this show and was like, they really love my point of view and that they trust me. This is what the person said. And I said, please maintain that energy because I'm going to show you all something. So here is this person talking about they would never trust someone like me. And because I just thought that this was a really interesting thing to say, especially on the cusp of me having my event in New York next month, right? And I'll say this. When you come to me, right? When you come to me, I'm here to help you work on getting to where it is that you want to be. I've heard some pretty grisly things in my practice. I've heard some grisly things that people have done, that they've participated in, that they've had done, that they witnessed, that they wish that they could do different. I've heard some pretty gnarly, grisly things, right? When you come to a person like me, a person who's not going to sit up there thinking that you're stupid for making the decisions that you've made, a person who's not going to think that you're a bad person for making the decisions that you made. You have an open floor to be able to discuss anything with me. Anything. As long as you're here to find solutions and work on it, you can tell me anything and I will not tell you that you're dumb, that you're stupid, that you're a fucked up individual. Why the fuck are you in here? Get the fuck out of my face. No. When you come to me in a relationship where I am your coach or I am your hypnotherapist, it is not my job to make you wrong. How do you get better from that? The data is very clear. In a study that they did on female college students, they did a 3-week study on self-compassion, talking about mindfulness, being in the moment, getting rid of the inner critic, finding ways to shift our mindset about self-critiques. In 3 weeks, their level of happiness, their level of function had increased by over 25% in just 3 weeks. Because when you have self-compassion, your depression goes down, your function goes up, you're able, I have the study here, as a matter of fact, I have the study here, right? Because this person talking about they can't trust me, okay, who is it that you would trust, right? I never said that it was okay or not okay. I said that there are circumstances in which anything can happen. You can meet a person and you can feel it in your spirit. This is what I said. We don't know what made her make that decision. We just don't have enough information. But I do want to find out, what is the vested interest that people have in, like, where's that coming from? That desire to make her pay. You know, there's a lot of people out here who are upset with the movement. There are inconsistencies where she was perpetrating a fraud to the public. But why? Why was she doing that? That this doesn't sound like a healthy, healed person living a fucking lie. And some of the people that you all are following right now are living a fucking lie, have been exposed, but yet you're still following them. Uh-oh. That is my TikTok reminding me that I haven't given TikTokers some love over here. So let me come to the TikTok app and say hello to the people in TikTok. All right, so there's a lot of people on TikTok. Oh, wow, over 2,000 hearts. Wow. Okay, well, I appreciate you all. We're getting ready to have the live call, and I'm going to open up the phone lines in just a moment. I'm just pulling up some data right here. My face looks so pretty on TikTok. My blush is blushing. All right. So let me open this up, because this was a study that I had to read for class, and this is why I say it's so important for us to, oh, damn it. Let me go to my integrations into, oh, I'm clicking the wrong files and all of this. Let me go into documents. Documents here. Let me go into the class. Oh, come on. And then let me go into, here we go. Here we go. And let me get this paper. I was not expecting to talk about this, but I will. Here. I saw that video, but I didn't hear the girl saying daddy ouch. I heard her it just sounded like a child was hollering in the background, like how children play. But you know, people are hearing all types of stuff. Oh, here, let me import this file into my device. I have to put all of my stuff on a tablet like this, because I do so much reading. So much reading. All right. So there's a study that was done by Elke Smeets, Kristen Neff, Hugo Alberto, and Madeline Peters. And in this study, let me tell you all the what it says in the study, so that we can talk about self-compassion and why it's so important, right? This is a mind map. One of my exes taught me how to do a mind map, and it has changed the game for me. I'll turn the lights down so that you can see. If you don't know about mind mapping, so this is how my mind processes information in this pattern. So this is what we learned, right? This is what we learned. That self-compassion comes in 3 different forms: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. So with self-kindness, the same way that we would treat our child, a friend who is having the same issues, we ask that you turn that inwards towards yourself and have kindness for yourself, right? Common humanity is the idea that we're all in this together, that we face similar challenges. And 3, mindfulness, that we can observe our thoughts and our feelings as they come up, and that we can shift those thoughts. So those are the 3 components that they worked on in this study. And after 3 weeks, self-compassion had gone up by 21%. Their optimism had gone up. Rumination had gone down. And they became more effective in their day-to-day lives, more effective at studying, more effective at just navigating through life. Overall, they had lower anxiety, lower depression, and lower unhappiness overall. They did say that mood was more complex, that people then got the understanding that their moods will go up and down, but that inner sense of peace and joy was constant in the fact that it had gone up. What I'm seeing here is a lack of common humanity, a lack of mindfulness, and a lack of self-kindness, because the way that we attack other people is the same way that we attack ourselves. The standard that we have for attack is what we push on ourselves. And I am telling you that if you want to heal, that you have got to get on the other side of this animus that you have for yourself and other people. You have got to release and let go, because this is killing you from the inside out. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines so that you all can go ahead and have your conversations with me. However, I really want the conversations to be about you. And also, okay, so listen, if you want to talk about her, I want to understand why you want to focus on her instead of on yourself. Help me understand that. Help me understand. So I'm going to open up the phone lines now in just a moment. So here is the number on the screen right there, 323-488-3149. And the phone lines are open. I'm taking the first caller. Okay, I'm waiting for the first caller. You can call in. And the only thing that I ask is, number one, you turn down your broadcast in the background. Number two, you make the conversation about yourself. And number three, if you want to talk about this woman, I need you to help me understand why you would rather focus on her than yourself. The number one rule is that when I start speaking, you must stop speaking, because we're having a conversation and I need to control the course of the show. I have to control the course of the show, so I may interrupt you at some point. Okay, somebody's saying the sound is bad. Is the sound bad for anybody else? Is the sound bad for anybody else? Can you call in via WhatsApp? Let me open up the WhatsApp and see if I can get it connected on here. Let's see. Because I might have to, let me see. I might have to try to connect it. Give me a second. I'm trying to open it up now. It's not opening. Hold on. Let me see if I can open the other one. Because I downloaded two. Okay, so it wants me to, give me a second. I got to take everything off the screen so I can try to, let's see. How do we do this? Oh, someone's calling, so I have to do that in a bit. Give me just 1 second. You're on the Ear Live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Destiny, and I'm calling from Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, hi. Are you the one who had all of those things to say on the broadcast the other day that I asked to call and you said you were in class?
No.
Oh, okay. So we got Destiny from Richmond, Virginia in the house. All right. So talk to me, Destiny. What's on your heart and mind today?
I kind of just want to reflect more on the hypergamy sector of social media, because I was deep into that section of YouTube for a very long time. I'm not going to name the creators, but I used to be deep into that content, and I realized I had to separate myself recently, because I think that
Hold on. I
it
just
has
need you.
taken.
I need you to bear with me for just one moment.
Mhm.
The video that I saw did not have her saying move your hand and stuff like that. Please send that video to me so that I can see, so that I can hear that video, because the one that I got didn't have that in there. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Destiny.
I think that a lot of it focuses on so much of what a man can provide, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm completely in support of. A man of hypergamous dating, especially for Black women. We have settled for a very, very long time. I think that we tend to put so much emphasis on the things that men can provide
Mm-hmm.
instead of providing the lifestyle that we believe men should provide for us for ourselves first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I believe that that is what I begin to do myself, and that's why I had to take a step back from a lot of the hypergamous content that I used to be like deep into for a long time and focus on giving myself the gratitude and the love and luxury that I wanted, I felt like men needed to provide me with. So it keeps me from making decisions from a place of like desperation and more of just genuine companionship, if you kind of get what I'm saying.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so that is just all I want to say because I'm 24 and I'm in school and I am surrounded by a lot of other young women who are in the hypergamous community, and we tend to only focus on the money aspect. But that is just one aspect of a man that is important, his morals and his emotional competence and resilience and other things. And I think that sometimes when a man makes a certain amount of money, we tend to put our morals and safety to the side and putting us in dangerous and vulnerable situations. And I saw myself doing that. And that is why I had to take a step back and um, reevaluate my choices, and also reevaluate some people that I was getting content from and advice from.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, my stance on it, and I'm glad you're focusing on yourself because that's so important. My stance is, I mean, I've done videos about this and, I have my own money. I don't think that a woman has to be able to provide the same level of lifestyle she's expecting from a man in order to get
Hmm.
with that man. Should we have our own money? Yes, of course, because men have proven that they are not and nice, right? And it takes time to make money. So it's like,
It does.
so the time that you take to make money, it really depends on I feel like there can be a happy median where you build yourself to a certain point where you have enough money that you're not coming from a place of desperation and you're still young enough to have children if that's what it is that you want and all of that. If not, then it's a whole different ball game out there. You know what I mean? So because there's a trade-off. There's a trade-off. It's like, you know,
It is.
if you want, Oprah level money, Oprah didn't become a millionaire until she had her show when she was in her 40s. So it's like,
Right.
so no, I feel you. Me personally, I'm not interested in dealing with the fuckery that comes along with trying to deal with a man exchanging what for his money. You know what I mean? Like, I just, like you said,
True.
companionship, like that's a perk. Yes. However, especially nowadays in today's environment, I would caution anybody from these men who are, listen, red pilled and manosphered up out here. I would caution any
Yeah.
woman from trying to get with today's man for his money because it's a vicious, dirty, disgusting game out there, in my opinion. And I just don't have the tolerance personally for trying to be what somebody else wants me to be, to wear my hair how somebody wants me to wear it in order to attract XYZ
Yeah.
for whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. So that was never my thing. And an infamous video that I did where I was speaking with some other content creators who were talking about all of the things that we needed to do in order to get a man's money and how we had to be such and such type of pretty. And on this broadcast, how many of you remember it? Put up the number 2 if you do, or the peace sign, whatever you want to put up. And I had to wipe my makeup off right there live on the air because I've refused to be in a prison of someone else's perception. I refuse to let my prettiness be a prison, especially since, youth is a fleeting commodity. It's like if that's all that I'm bringing to the table, if your idea of my youth and beauty is what it is that I'm selling in exchange for your money, then what happens 5 or 10 years from now, one or two babies from now, when that youth and beauty has
Exactly.
shifted? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that is where I fell short within myself. I was buying all these things that these creators say we needed. And there's nothing wrong with investing in yourself, but I should do it for yourself.
Buying
And
all
I
types of
wasn't
things
doing it
like
for
what?
myself. I was just buying like makeup and making sure I looked a certain way, make sure I carry myself a certain way. I was out in certain places where so-called high value men
Mm,
uh, frequent at or whatever. Like I was deep into the hypergamous content, and
mm,
I was like, wait, what am I doing? And I was putting so much value into my exterior
mm,
when that is not the only valuable part of me.
mm,
I am more than the beauty that I bring, like, and so that I was focusing more on that part
mm.
than the other aspects of myself.
Okay, so thank you for sharing that. Question for you. Question for
Hmm.
you. Now, for those of you out there, as you see this young woman called in, making the situation relevant to her, discussing the journey that she went on, and now we're talking about her and where she's going. If you call up on my phone lines to try to discuss what somebody else has done wrong, you're gonna meet the dial tone. You're going to be on the line by yourself because that's not why we're here. So, question for you, Destiny. What was it that made you want to be in the hypergamous community? What were you looking for? What were you hoping to gain?
So I come from a very conservative background. My mother is an ordained minister.
Mm,
I've left the religious community, but I'm still heavily surrounded for obvious reasons. My family is heavily religious,
mm,
and they put a lot of emphasis growing up on my mom has all girls, by the way.
mm,
So, yes, education and career choices matter, but my mother made it very obvious that our success as women is defined by how successful we are in marriages and motherhood.
mm,
And so, I'm about to finish. I go to VCU. I'm about to finish school, and I'm like, okay, well, I did the education part. So, like my mom said, it's time for me to find a man. And so, that is when I decided to enter the hypergamous content. And then I think that for a long time, I've been living the lens of my life through my mother's through what my mother wants,
mm.
because growing up in a Christian, household, very conservative household, um, she made it just very just clear of how women should carry themselves according to Christian ideologies and principalities.
Mm.
And so even after I left the Christian community, I still held myself to those standards. I think just it was subconsciously because I was so programmed in it. Um, and so yeah, it was just like it wasn't. I don't even think that I necessarily was looking for a relationship because I want a relationship. More so, this is what my mother told me to do. It's education, and then it's the man and motherhood. You can have all the success in every aspect of your life, but if you're not a wife and a mother, then it's just like everything else is time wasted.
So, how did that make you feel as a human being?
Um, for a long time, I just thought that that is just the way it was. It wasn't until I was when I left Christianity and start to just view the world in my own eyes for myself, and I just started to really take into account a lot of the indoctrination that I have been programmed in for a long time. That I realized that I am more than the babies that I will ever
Yeah.
give birth to, and I am more than the domestic labor that I provide for the man that I
Mm.
would be with. But
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't until I had to step out of that box, because, like I said, even after I decided I wasn't going to be a Christian, I just was still going by the principles of it. Even after I stopped going to church and everything, it just decided that I just didn't resonate with it or whatever. And so another reason is I'm always pressured when I go to family events, when I go to cookouts and stuff. They're always like, "Oh, you about to finish? You know, I'm about to graduate. You know, you don't have a man." I never brought a man back home to any type of like family events, and it always made that the topic of discussion. Like, why don't you have a man? My mother has no grandchildren, so she's also made it clear that one of her daughters needs to give her grandchildren. And so
Well,
like I said,
one of the things that I found worked for me when I was younger was to tell them to hook me up. All of those people telling me that I needed to have XYZ, I'd say, you know what, that sounds great. I want that too. Find the person and introduce him to me. And then they put on their thinking cap. And the only thing that I asked for, right? This is what you ask, that you tell them that you need. That you just need a man who is going to be nice to you, who is going to be faithful to you, and who is gainfully employed. That's all you, three things. Three things. And C, they can't come up with anyone. No one, because when you put the task on them, they want to put the task on you to find a person. Back in the days, families used to find the partners, and quiet is kept before men intervene. Let me go grab this book real quick for you all. Hold on. So when the elder women were doing the matchmaking, the women were getting, the young ladies were getting matched in unions that were healthy. When men started selling their daughters, this is when things started going awry. Men still want to get back to the days where they could sell their daughters to other men for whatever the case may be. This book right here, The Creation of Patriarchy by Gerda Lerner. This is a book that I recommend any and everybody get. The Creation of Patriarchy by Gerda Lerner. I'm in the early parts of the book myself, and from what it is that I have learned, this is how far I've gotten into the book. There's a lot more to go, but I'm disgusted by what it is that I've learned about how we got to where it is that we are right now. So, and you know what, and listen, Destiny, when I tell you to just ask for those three things, I'm being facetious. I know it takes a lot more than that. But what I'm saying is at the very bare bones of it, they can't even produce somebody. The moment that you say, I need a man that's going to be faithful, that's when they're like, oh, well, I don't know how long that, I don't know nobody. I'm telling you.
Right.
Because they were like, oh, Tonya, when you going to settle down? When you going to have some kids? Ain't you supposed to? And I was like, yeah, you know what? Because I used to fight them on it. And then one day I just said, fuck it. I said, you know what? I want that too. Do you know of someone? Introduce me to somebody. And then they're like, oh, well, what do you need? And they want you to come up with a long list. They want you to be like, he got to be this, 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 this. Ask for three very simple things that any man who's looking to settle down should have. And they can't find him. Come back and tell me whether or not somebody has found somebody for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Phone lines are open. Somebody is like, what's the number to call in? It's scrolling across the screen. It's scrolling across the screen. All right. So I need somebody to send me this video because I saw one video. I heard the child scream in the background, but it sounded like kids were playing. People can come up with all different types of stuff online and start saying they're hearing things that that is not there. Now listen, let's say worst case scenario. There's a video of the woman on camera while the child is being SA'd in the background. Let's say worst case scenario, right? What do we then do? Do we sit up here online attacking her, or do we look for ways to also get her arrested and produce this information to the prosecutors? You're on the air live with Tonya TKO. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. I'm Edna calling from St. Louis.
Hey, Edna from St. Louis, you're on the air live, so talk to us. What's your comment?
My comment, I'm just thinking about the husband in the situation where everyone wants to place blame on the mother wife for being hypergamous or the other content creator for influencing her, but the man, he's the one that did the wrong. And it's like it seems like they always get excused, like they always get away with it. Like even in this situation, I heard that he's not in jail because he's still providing for her.
Yeah, so hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back. First of all, thank you for calling up and making this very important point. How most of the focus and emphasis are from women who are lambasting her for ever having been in the hypergamous community. That's what you get. Hypergamy doesn't work, XYZ. Who marries a person after XYZ? Who molests their daughter? Who molests a 2 year old? Who molests a 4 year old? Who molests anybody? That's where the focus
Right.
needs to be. However, as always, the men are coddled and the women are put in the place of responsibility. This is his child. This is his flesh and blood that he went and did this. This is a pedophile. This is a sick, disgusting person if he did these things. Like this is all, I heard that there's a police report. I have not paid to run his record. I've seen that there are some people who paid to get it run. You bring up some good points. And then I think that I personally think that there's a lot of people who are angry at hypergamy, and that's why they have a vested interest, because they're like, well, I never went after money. um this is what you get when you go after money, and this is why they're salivating for a woman, especially a brown skinned woman or tan, whatever, to be torn apart because she wanted the bag. I'm hearing she had money when they got together. They're saying she was making $90,000 a year. There's some inconsistencies that are coming up, and now people are saying that. And I saw a video earlier today where somebody was like, he's not in jail because he's still providing for her, which was something that was listed on some sort of document or whatnot. There are lots of reasons why a person gets out of incarceration. Before trial, the person is only being held, and then they have bond. Maybe he bonded out. Did
Right.
anybody talk about that? Did he bond out? Because once you get arrested, you don't go to trial automatically. Like it takes like a year or two for trial to happen, depending on what the cases are looking like in the jurisdiction. So people can bond out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, to bring it back to me personally, it's difficult because it's like, how do you interact with these men where even if because it's like I want to have faith in people. We're all traumatized in some extent, so it's like even if it's not this far, you still have people that need to work on themselves, and if they're not willing to do the work, like how what do I do with myself with interacting with them? Because it's like I can't say, oh well, I love myself too much to be dealing with all these traumatized people, but I feel like that leads to isolation.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. That's important. There are some people who say that you cannot vet. I believe that you can vet. I believe that you can ask questions, that you can see how a person feels about therapy. You can see what they're doing. If you're talking to a person and you bring up, you'd be surprised how many men would disqualify themselves with just the question alone of asking how they feel about therapy. They start talking, I don't believe in therapy. My family is just home. I would never. Only crazy people. You'd be surprised if you ask that question. Oh, how do you feel about therapy? I would never. And
Right.
you'll see. Just ask them. Just ask them.
But I do have some grace with that, even in that, because I feel like what we have as therapy now used to just be good friendships, right? And it's like the fact that we've commercialized it, and I don't know, it's just like I don't really agree with a lot of aspects of what therapy is as well. Like I get it and I see the benefit of it, but it's hard for me to like personally jam with it.
I don't understand what you mean. Help me understand.
Like sitting, like I've had a therapist, right? And I'm sitting and I'm talking to her and I'm feeling like what I'm doing to try to move past my issues or process things or whatever could be done in different ways. So like maybe doing yoga or I tried qigong or there's just other different like spiritual practices
Did
or
your
what have
did your
you.
therapist talk with you about the past?
Yes.
Did you uncover some things from the past? Did you discuss those things and work to resolve them?
Yes, it wasn't really, there's no like huge thing to resolve. It's like I'm kind of uneventful, just, like average in that sense. And that's not to say that I think I'm not traumatized. Like, I get that. But I just feel like it's not like I'm trying to get over a certain life event or happening, something that happened to me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, if there's no life event or any type of trauma that you, however, I don't want to call you out. I mean, I know who you are,
No, call
right?
me out. I love you, Tanya. Call me out.
Okay, because we've spoken already, and I know that there's some trauma there, girl. We've talked about it. Come on, girl. Now I mean, I can act like I don't know who I'm talking to, but I know who I'm talking
Okay,
to.
I don't want to be too identifiable if anybody like is
I
really
don't. I'm
listening.
not going to identify you, but what I'm saying is, for you to sit here and say
Yeah.
you don't have any trauma to work out, I'm like, I'm just gonna. Do I just sit here and say
No,
nothing?
that's what I'm saying. Not that I'm not saying that I don't have any trauma in the sense that like I'm just like perfect. I'm like good to go. Like no, I 100% agree with that. But I feel like the way we talk about trauma is like no big deal, right? That's the kind of trauma that I'm dealing with, not the
Okay.
trauma of DV or whatever kind of event like that. I'm kind of like the trauma, like I don't know, like I went to university, like there's nothing to point at to be like this is a glaring issue
Okay.
other than maybe my health, and that's not an issue. That's just what I need to do to keep myself sane.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. One of the things that I'm learning about trauma right now in my program is that there's this thing called splitting and fragmentation, and there are ways that the mind protects us from memories. I know that there's some
Right.
things that you're dealing with that may have a beginning somewhere, and maybe these memories are hidden from you. I'm going to say this about modern day therapy. Modern day therapy, because of the insurance companies are trying to, they've corporatized the insurance and therapy, that a lot of the therapists nowadays are acting as life coach, trying to move forward, not unpacking the past. However, you can find therapists that do psychodynamics, that do psychoanalysis, even though psychoanalysis, in my opinion, is a little old school. That's old school Freud, but I'm looking for a therapist that does psychodynamics because I want to dive into the past. But so yeah, I say try a bunch of different things because I started hot yoga the week last week. I started hot yoga. This week was my second week. And
Hmm.
last weekend, one of my classmates invited me to this thing. It was like they had like this drum beating and like this shamanic chanting. It was this hot ass room and these lights were
Hmm.
flashing. And then after we were in this hot ass room, we went for an ice cold plunge. You know I'm going to a PWI. I can, I don't I okay. I'm going to a predominantly white. So I did my ice
Yeah.
plunge, and I began to like bawl. I was like bawling. Like there was so much like the stress and anxiety and pressure and all that stuff that I've been holding on to during the semester just
Right.
all came bubbling up. And so there's more than one way to heal. Therapy is one way that you can deal with a psychological professional that can help you weed through, psychological theories and issues that you may be dealing with. However, if you feel that you can be best served through qigong or ice bathing, or whatever the case may be. Try different things. And so there was someone in the comments who said that people can lie. So vetting doesn't work because people can lie. If in best case scenarios they can, if they're telling the truth, then it can work. And I'll say this, right? Ask questions. Listen, we're women and we have to sharpen and fine tune our intuition the way it was
I was
meant to
going to say,
be.
mm-hmm. You know when someone's not being authentic with you, right? It's like you don't necessarily know if it's a lie. Even if someone answered, it doesn't even matter which way it is. But it's the energy that comes with not being
Mm,
authentic that if you're tuned into yourself, you're gonna feel.
I feel you on that. Well, Edna, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you
Thank you.
sharing in these moments with me. Okay.
Bye.
All right. So we're going to go on our dance break in just a moment, but I wanted to expound upon that thought. So the idea that some content creators are saying is that you can't vet because people lie. There are ways to find out. For well, number one, as women, we are gifted. The intuitive center of our brain is much larger than that of men. We have been taught through years of conditioning, indoctrination, acculturation to not listen to our intuition. There are people who are like, put all your trust not in your own understanding, trust in other entities. There were women who were killed. They were unalived for suspicions of being a quote unquote witch. We have been taught over and over and over again to not gossip, to not share information. Like gossiping is a way that women were able to share information about things that were really going on. And then they started besmirching gossip. Right now, we have a lot of things at our disposal. We have our intuition, we have background checks, we have pre relationship therapy. A person can say that they're down with therapy, and then you can take them into a therapist's office and you can sit down with them before you even go into a relationship. Just kind of gauge where it is that they're at. Like a therapist who has the ability to diagnose mental unwellness, the therapist can be able, like, get a second opinion. You can speak to the elders in your family. It's like we are not, you can introduce him to some of the men that are around you. Men have pretty good bullshit meters when it comes to recognizing the bullshit in other men, especially when they have a vested interest in trying to keep you safe from some of these other men. The elder women in your family, bring some of these. My mother had a knack. She only had to see a person, just bring him to the house. All she had to do was see him, and she could do his whole Carfax right there. She could tell me everything that I needed to know. We need to start going to the wise ones who came before us. We need to start going into meditation. Can't nobody tell me that there's not an inner wise one inside of you, that if you go into meditation and meditate on a person and the feeling that you feel intuitively in your gut about this person, you can't tell me. I mean, who knows and understands what it is that I'm saying? Who knows and understands what it is that I'm saying? Because there are ways, there are tools. And is everything going to so okay, so let's say you run the background check on him. You go to pre-relationship therapy with him. The therapist ain't figured it out. You go to bring him around some of your male friends, or a father figure or uncle figure, somebody who cares about you and who's male, and he ain't peep game. And you bring them to the elder women in your family, they ain't everybody's gonna be wrong about this person. Then that means that you just pass the blame all the way around. You be like, listen, mama, I brought him to you. Papa, I brought him here too. Cousin, you saw him as well. How the hell did we all, therapist, you was in on it too. How the hell did we all get fooled? I want to know how can a consortium of people all get, everybody intuition is gonna be off? Everybody, the background check, everything, nothing in his background check, nothing. I showed you the background check of a person that you all are still following, and this person got all types of DV and all types of stuff, and you all are like, oh, but he's telling me what I want to hear. So, all right, go ahead. Keep on following. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. All right, it is time for us to get up and dance again. I want to see your comments paused and your legs and stuff moving, right? I want to see you all get up out of your seat. Let me find a good song for us to dance to. Let's see. This one is, oh, you know what? There was a song that they had showed me the other day. I wonder if it's still here. This one is called Bumfuzzle. What is Bumfuzzle? Oh, is this slow? That's weird. This is called Your Place. A, 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 A. Okay.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep.
All right. Okay. I like it. I like it. But I want to see what else we have. So let's see. Go. This is called Go All In.
Yeah. Empty bottles of red wine laying on the floor from last night. We got a little drunk. Yeah. Now I'm a little numb. Spending hours by your bedside, talking till it's dark out somehow. Can get you off my mind.
All right.
Don't wanna say goodbye, bye, bye, bye. Maybe we should take it slow. I don't feel too comfortable.
You know, I don't want to dance to this, but I can't turn it off, so we might as well just get up. Come on, get up.
Yeah, I don't really know
Get up off your
anymore
seat.
how to feel something again. Think I'm just scared of falling. I wanna go all in. I don't really know anymore how to be more than your friend. Think I'm just scared of falling.
You remember when we used to have house parties back in the days, and everybody used to try to get their little wine and grind on?
Cause I ain't got the time.
Hey, I need something a little faster than this, but this is kind of cool song. I'ma save it.
You know I can't afford your kiss.
Oh wait, he said he can't afford. Wait a minute now, you ain't got no money, boy?
Juma, 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 juma.
All right, here we got Juma Juma. Come on.
झूम झूम गाऊं मैं तेरी सखी झूम झूम गाऊं
Come on, y'all, get up out your
मैं
seat.
तेरी सखी पिया से मिलन की आई बेला सखी झूम झूम गाऊं मैं तेरी सखी झूम 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 गाऊं मैं तेरी सखी झूम झूम गाऊं मैं तेरी सखी पिया से मिलन की आई बेला सखी झूम झूम गाऊं मैं तेरी सखी अंबर बदरा छाए मुरवा भी नाचे गाए अंबर बदरा छाए मुरवा भी नाचे गाए कोयल भी गीत गाए मिलन के सखी झूम झूम जाऊं मैं तेरी सखी पिया से मिलन की आई बेला सखी झूम झूम गाऊं मैं तेरी सखी आंगन भई हरियाली झूमे है डारी डारी आंगन भई हरियाली झूमे है डारी डारी प्रीत के गीत गाए मेरा मन सखी झूम झूम जाऊं मैं तेरी सखी
That was nice. All right. Zoom is zoom. I don't know. I just move however the music inspires me. So you never know. You never know. You just listen. Okay. All right. So some people are saying some pretty important things. Background check will only let you know if the person was convicted of a crime. It doesn't let you know whether or not they have done a crime and not been. The thing about it is that people have these patterns. And I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm going to say this, right? I once spoke to a police officer and was like, why are you sitting here trying to catch people running a stop sign, right? And the police officer was like, well, you'd be surprised. Most of the people that we end up arresting for bigger crimes actually get pulled over for small traffic crimes. If you remember, that's how Ted Bundy got caught. Small traffic crime, right? People have these patterns of lawlessness, of boundary breaking that shows up in many cases. Is it foolproof? No. A background check will let you know. This is why whenever I was running my background checks before and we see a person who's getting these tickets for lack of seat belt, running red lights, drinking and driving, speeding, this denotes something else going on the inside of a person, especially with multiple offenses. So pay attention even to, because remember, the people that we've run these background checks on who had these big drug charges, DV, before they had gotten caught for DV or at least arrested for DV or even convicted, depending on the situation, they had speeding, they had running red lights, they had running stop signs, they had all the failure to yield, seatbelt violations. They've had other things on there. This is why you just pay attention. You just pay attention. You just look and see. Most crimes aren't caught or prosecuted. Exactly. And I'm not saying that most are. However, pay attention to the small ones. Pay attention to even the traffic violations because it speaks to something else. It says in all cases, no, but the thing about it is that there are people out there who want us to say, oh, there's absolutely nothing that you can do to vet. Yeah, there are things that you can do. It's like, is there going to be a 100% foolproof method? What I'm saying is, and tell me how this is wrong, that you elicit the assistance. I don't know why we're only focusing on background checks. We have no elder women in our family. We have no elder men. There's no therapist that you can sit down with this person before you go to a certain level with this person, where you can sit down and bring this person before a therapist. Not before, in churches at least, they have, even if the person is unqualified, they have a person for pre-marriage counseling. You sit down with the pastor or whatnot. Hopefully this person can catch some things, but I say sit down before a psychological professional before you even commit to a relationship with a person. I don't see how we are going to try to posit as if there is nothing that we can do. Nothing? Yeah, there's things that we can do. Even if it improves your chance of not getting taken advantage of by 5%, once you start adding up 5% here, 5% there, so let's say most people aren't arrested or prosecuted, that's fine. However, a background check will give you some information, right? They can use standards, expectations, and boundaries. Okay. All right, we're gonna open up the phone lines again. What in the world? What is it? Oh, goodness. What are you talking about? All right. Phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. 323-488-3149. There were a bunch of people who had called in before and I wasn't able to answer the calls. Now is your time to call in. And so Misty is saying that we both agree. And you know what? It's so, and the thing about it, it's okay if we don't 100% agree. And it's good to, okay. The difference between religion and spirituality, this is one of the things that I've learned in my coursework, is that religion says, I found the answer. They create books and dogma, rituals, all of these things. Religion says, I found the answer. Spirituality it stays in a constant search for truth. And in order to find truth, you have to test. Like if you go inside certain religions, you start asking questions, they're like, just shut up and pay attention to the religion. Don't ask too many questions. It is good to ask questions. It is good to challenge. That way, you can use your head into thinking. So listen, this is what I have presented, right? The number is on the screen, baby girl. You just look at the screen. It's about to come up right there. You see, and it's slow enough for you to write it down. Save the number because this is the number that we use and we have been using for years. I'm saying intuition, sit down with a therapist and that person. Okay, so listen, okay. Questions. Ask them questions and pay attention while they're talking. Pay attention to what you see, what you think, what you feel. Pay attention. So that's one. Two, use your intuition with the things that they say, how they look, how they move, things that are not adding up. Don't ignore that, right? Introduce them to an elder female in your family. Far too many of us women, our friends, our family, they tell us this person ain't shit. And what do? Oh, I want to prove that he is. All right, if the people who love you the most are telling you that this motherfucker ain't shit, then listen, far too many of us, you know what? Listen, because you all know that I'm a life coach. The vast majority of us ain't even asking fucking questions. Another portion of us, our friends and family don't like the motherfucker. None of them do. And we still go forward, right? It's like if the people who know you and care about you and love you the most and have a vested interest in your well-being is telling you that nigga ain't shit, then what you gonna continue to go forward? Then introduce them to an elder woman in the family. Introduce them to a sensible, stable elder male, or a male that could be the same age as a peer of his, just so he can be aware of what's going on in present day, right? These are some of the things. If I've left off any, because I thought I had 5. If I left off, because the phone is ringing, so I have to grab this. You're in Your Life with Tonya. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Hey, Tonya, this is Sinkin. How are you?
Hi, you said your name was Sinkin?
Cynthia.
Oh, Cynthia, hi. How are you doing?
So I'm good. I just wanted to clarify my comment.
Oh, is this Cynthia G? Oh, Cynthia G, it's been so long. Welcome. You know, you and I never got a chance to make up. You know that, right?
Yeah, but we'll have every opportunity. I don't have anything against you, Tonya. I still like you. I still enjoy your content. I have zero ill feeling towards you.
Okay.
And I never did. And I just want you to understand that. I never at any point had any ill feelings or thoughts towards you. And I've still maintained watching and supporting your content.
Well, that's really nice. I appreciate that. I honestly don't know what had taken place because I concentrate on the path ahead of me, and I didn't listen or hear anything. I heard rumors, but I tell people when they hear rumors, no need to send it to me. It's nice to see you here. So let's talk about this vetting. And before we get into the topic, let's set up a time to have a conversation behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% down for that. Even disagreeing, my thing is people can disagree. That's how you learn. You don't learn in an echo chamber where everyone where everyone agrees, but I don't think you've done or said anything that will make me possess like any ill feelings towards you. Um, People spread rumors because they want content creators to fight. I'm not going to buy into it. If I have an issue with someone, they will know because I'll tell them behind the scenes. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that simple. I won't do it publicly, but we definitely can have a conversation. I definitely know that for sure. Um, so as far as the vetting, I wasn't trying to be contentious. It's hard to convey your point in the chat box. Um, when people talk about vetting, they generally talk about it in the context of you should have done something to predict the outcome of this relationship, basically.
Mm.
So in terms of the trophy wife woman, she actually said she did do a background check, but a background check is generally like a one-off. Vetting is generally like a one-off. They vet to get in the door, and then people switch up. So even if they were 100% honest at the time that you vetted them, because it's not constant, then they could change their mindset and their behavior, and we know people do because people change. But what this woman lacked was standards, expectation, and boundaries, because I watched your video. That was the first one I watched, was from you when you initially talked about her. You had pointed out that on the screen in white letters, she said within the first month or so that he had violated her. Within a few months.
Yeah.
She continued to be with him. So there's no boundaries, clearly. You see that she does not have any boundaries. If somebody violates you repeatedly, you do not stay in a relationship with them. But she stayed. And had she activated some boundaries and said, you know what, I'm not going to be violated physically in a relationship, so I'm going to go ahead and exit the relationship, that man wouldn't have had the opportunity to do anything to her children if she had just had boundaries. If she had had boundaries for herself, she could have protected her children because he wouldn't have been around. I don't even think she would have had the children because the children are his children. The two girls are his. They probably wouldn't have even been here if she had had boundaries. She would have probably had them by someone
Listen,
else.
if she wasn't a rape baby, she would probably have a different POV as well. So, and that might have been insensitive calling her a rape baby, but let's focus on this right here, right? How did she get to this point? So when we talk about boundaries, lack of boundaries, expectations, and those sorts of things, right? You have to remember the programming. So I realized this recently because I didn't even realize my own programming, right? Because you know that I'm Caribbean American and we joke about people, we joke, we crack jokes. Black people in general crack jokes on one another. In a Caribbean household, nothing is off the table. We crack jokes about anything. And I didn't even realize how normalized that was for me in my own life. Why do I bring this up? Well, because in the house that we grew up in, the people who loved us and cared for us, the behaviors that they participated in become normalized to us, so much so that when we see these behaviors, they become familiar. They feel familiar, even if they're toxic, right? And I'm from New York. I did a video in downtown Dallas, was it? Downtown Houston, Dallas, one of those. Some city in Texas where there was no people in the downtown area on a weekend day. And I was like visibly nervous by this because in New York on a weekend day down in the city, everybody's there. They stepping on the back of your heels, they taking cameras, they looking, everyone is there. But I had become so accustomed to the crowds, the energy, that no matter how disruptive it may be, like I'll sit there and I'll listen to the sound of a train running past and I'll feel soothed by it. The things that become normalized to us in our youth, we can see patterns of that and not realize that this home feeling that we have is really something toxic. So when she met this man and he violated her, you have to remember she had been groomed and raped as a child. And the data shows that women who are groomed and raped as children have a higher likelihood of being raped further on down the line in their lives and multiple times until that wound is healed. So, goodness knows why she didn't leave. However, there was something about that relationship, apparently, that either her lack of self worth, her familiarity in the toxicity, her desperation, her whatever the case may be, she stayed. And we don't have enough information to know why she stayed. But at this point, the children are harmed.
Yeah.
So besides helping other people, so like other people, we can talk to other people and say, listen, if you have boundaries, if you have self-respect, if you have these things, this would not happen. But we still are combating nature. We're combating the programming. But what does it do for her and for the children for us to say this would have never happened had you left him in the beginning? It's already done. The toothpaste is out the tube.
Yeah, that's 100% true. It is, because obviously the what's happened has happened. So, saying shoulda, woulda, coulda isn't going to change the outcome, but it could help her do better in the future, because she mentioned in one of her videos that she despises basically predators. Is what she said. She said she despises men like her husband. So and she said she's already told him that too, I believe. I think I saw a video where she said that, you know, she talked to him about, you know, her how she goes through the trauma, and she stated that she said that she hates men who are predators like that. The reason I bring it up is because there were certain things that I did in a particular relationship that I overlooked to where it escalated. That's why it's like sometimes you have to emphasize the need for early intervention, because it does escalate. So I've been very forthcoming about the fact that I experienced SA within a relationship. And it's a relationship that I didn't even recognize was actually domestic violence based, because I didn't recognize it in the stereotypical way that it's supposed to play out. Meaning, since he wasn't punching me or slapping me or kicking me, I didn't see that he was doing as violent. But when it escalated to the SA, there was something that this man had said to me prior to any of that happening, and I ignored it. I completely ignored it because I took it seriously. So oftentimes we have to go back to the beginning to look at what did I ignore, what signs did I miss, what things did I discard that I should have paid great attention to that led me all the way up to here. Because situations escalate. Like, even her mentioning him violating her within the first couple months, that's probably not the only thing he's done to violate her. He's probably been doing things, throughout the relationship, unchecked, and then it got to here, where he apparently has all the control. Because, well, I'll save some of it because I'm going to go live on it myself, but there's a lot of things that I got about that situation by listening to it. And there are some things, like, I don't think people should attack her and beat her up. I'm pretty sure she's already beat up because her children have been victimized by a man that she put in a position of being her safe, essentially. So she's already feeling it. That's every woman's worst nightmare, obviously, is that their husband has done something to their children, because now you're torn in between two people that you have a deep emotional connection to. So I'm pretty sure she's already going through it. And her life is crashing. She probably didn't save money. She was relying on this man financially. He's cutting everything off. So I'm pretty sure her world's crashing right now. But she does have children. She will want to be in a relationship with another man. And it would only benefit her to show her, look, these are the things that you shouldn't have ignored that kind of led up to this. These are mistakes that we have to try to not make going forward. That's the only reason why I say it. I need to do that to myself.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you adding the context with your story attached. And that's what's important, because I said in the beginning of this broadcast, none of us are better than her. Like, we're not above her. She's not above us. We are all human beings traversing through this life. When we talk about our journey, listen, if our goal is to help the viewers, like if you said you're going live, if your goal is to help the viewers and you give your story for context and you say, listen, here are the things that could have been done differently, I support that wholeheartedly. When we start telling her now, there's too much information that we don't know. She hasn't come to us to ask us for counsel. So I don't see how we can advise her from afar by telling her all the things that she did wrong. So hopefully she will be able to find wise counsel that she can work with. Hopefully she can get a therapist, wise counsel. However, for me and my platform, she hasn't come to me and asked me for help. She hasn't come to me and asked me what could I have done differently. So for me, what I feel my duty is to talk to my viewers about how something like this could happen and how it can be averted.
Yeah. Yeah, and I 100% support it. And listen, I think it's great how you have people turn it onto their self, because I think that often we don't have as much self-awareness as we should. Self-awareness requires accountability, and that's kind of difficult. It's difficult for people to take accountability, but it's really essential. So I do appreciate you doing that, because it kind of turns the mirror on the person to where they may see similarities. Like, I don't think anybody should be attacking this woman, because I really think she represents the majority of black women, actually. I think, or if the majority, a significant percentage of black women have the same mindset as her. I mean, she simply wanted what she sees is given to other races of women, which is a hypergamous lifestyle with a man who is a provider. And I don't think there's anything with her wanting that, but I just think the way that we approach it as black women, where we want to pursue it first before we even pursue healing, I think that's where the issue is coming up. We're not doing the self-work before we pursue these relationships that we think and all be all.
You know what? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. The work is ugly and the work is gruesome. Putting on some lipstick and a doggone mohair sweater, that's the easy part. Zipping up some tight ass jeans and some high heel boots, that's the easy part. But really rolling up your sleeves and getting to the heart of the ugliness that's inside of us, the shadow side, the things that we want to turn away from, that's the hard stuff right there. And who is really talking about that? Who's promoting that? When I put up go ahead.
Not many people, and that's why I like that you do promote self-love, because it is something that we as black women are lacking. And I think as black women we have, like, within us an arrogance that doesn't want to admit that we have trauma and that we have diminished self-esteem and self-value. But the reality is the way in which we move illustrates that we have low self-esteem and low self-value. So we do need to do the work. No matter how quick it is to face the shadows, you have to having to go through the process of facing mine now. And I'm telling you, sometimes I have panic attacks. Sometimes my brain wants to shut down. Sometimes I feel like crying. Sometimes I'm angry. But that's all a part of the process of dealing with the shadows, so you can be fully in the light and get the benefits of it. And I think a lot of black women are afraid to do that, but we need to.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. But question, right? Well, I want to ask you a question, but I'll give a statement first. Look at our community. I had a conversation with a friend recently, and my friend had gotten himself into a raggedy ass situation that I really thought my friend was better than, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my friend is always touting about how he's such a leader. And I thought to myself, look at who we are considering leaders in our community.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have these women out here, when we have black women out here who are reeling and stumbling and really trying, because you know what, because it starts when we're little. And we've gotten into a place in our community where we have fools advising us. And I have people sending me videos of fools. And I'm like, please do not send me. It's like these people, no qualifications, no education, nothing. They have nothing except for a dick and two balls pressed down on a sofa somewhere with a microphone in front of them. What qualified them to give any of these statements? Yet, like you said, we are in a male worshiping society. And a lot of the moves that these women are making, they're making because men have said that these are the rules, this is what's best, and this is how and these men, I realize far too late in life that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. These men have destroyed the community with their fuck ass advice.
Yeah, they do. And remember, I remember you talked about that a lot when Kevin Samuels was on his dusty pulpit. How you were saying, Kevin Samuels lacks the qualifications, he lacks the education, he lacks the credentials, he even lacks the history of maintaining a relationship on his own. Yet they flock to him,
Yeah.
and it's because a lot of it is religion, because when you're sold that you have a male god and your
Mm.
brain recognizes associations, it's not sifting through these men and putting them in different groups. It's saying God is male, human males are representations of God. That is what your subconscious brain is saying.
Mhm.
And when you agree to that and you have this mentality that a male is God, of course you're not going to check human males. They're the human manifestation of God. Why would you be checking them? And even if you don't believe that consciously, you believe it subconsciously as a woman, and we act on it. We act on it when we fail to check them. We act on it when we give them absolute power. We act on it when we believe what they say just because they say it. And I think we don't recognize how we have deified human males,
Mhm.
voluntarily deified human males, and now we're living in the consequences of it.
Yes, absolutely. But there's a grand awakening coming. The question I wanted to ask you is, do you have psychological assistance in this journey that you're on?
I am. I'm in therapy. I actually just had therapy right before I did content this morning. I had it. So
Okay. Okay,
I
good,
mean,
good.
it's hard. It's really really hard, and I understand why people steer clear of it, because, like I said, I have to do things to mitigate extreme anxiety that I feel after talking about certain things. When I'm feeling my chest tightening up, when I'm getting headaches after talking about certain things, and that's because it's trauma. And
Mhm.
it's not pleasant dealing with it, but I do know that the more I talk about my trauma with a therapist, the easier it gets.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So kudos on you for that. Continue to normalize therapy, especially for black women. Because the truth of the matter is that coming from a community where they say as many as 60% of black women have been SA'd as children in the community before they even left their doggone house, there's a lot of black women walking around with trauma. So you add up the trauma, the male worship, the deification of man as God, with all of the patriarchal teachings and programmings, not only in women, but in men as well, where you have these empty suits banging on their chest talking about, I'm a leader, I'm a king, right? When you have these people going around, submission to what? Please. So it's like we have the community is upside down, and they don't realize how much they are in need of female leadership.
They are. But the thing is, we could literally go on all day talking about this, and I do
Mm-hmm.
think we should um, have a discussion about it, because it, I've had so many revelations. I've had so many revelations, like
Mm.
not just even about myself, but just about the community. because I'm really trying to do the inner work on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right, focal point is not a relationship or a man. I think a man would only hinder my life right now.
Mm-hmm.
My life right now is for me to pour into myself, to focus on healing, and then I'll consider the world's full of me. So I'm sure when I'm ready to have one, I'll be able to get one. But for
Well, I
now,
didn't hear
I'm
that.
just
When
gonna.
you're ready to have what?
When I'm ready to have a man, I'm pretty sure
Oh,
I'll get one.
oh yeah.
Right, I'm gonna pour into myself, and I'm going to heal my wounds and take care of my trauma. And I think that that's what a lot of black women should do. I think that's what that woman should have did. Based off of listening to her videos, she didn't seem to be prioritizing dealing with her trauma over getting a man. Her priority was
Yeah.
getting a man.
Well, you know what? So I appreciate you saying that. There's some other things that I've come into contact with recently, right? There is this idea that is pushed on us as citizens, right? And you have to think about what it is that they edify and exalt in our society. The people that you see on the front covers of Forbes magazines and Newsweek and People, we're seeing people who are billionaires and made this amount of money and business spread out this way. We're not putting people up on these magazines who had the dark night of the darkest night of the soul and went deep inside for the internal healing and is living a life free of debt and obligations and living off the grid. We're not putting those people up there. In our society, we worship money. We worship men, we worship money, we worship the trappings of success. Hear what I'm saying, right? So when the time comes for us to go where it is that we need to go, get where it is that we need to get, the messages that are circulating in society are telling us you got to make this much money. He did it, so you could do it too. Forget all the things that you have going against you. Forget the trauma. Forget this. Make money. Get fame. Get exalted. Get on this magazine. People will love you. And people think that when the applause comes, like there's so many people out there who think just because a person is famous that their life is going well. Oh, we could rag you and tag you because you famous. Go cry into your $1 million stacks. Having money is just an amplification of certain issues. So doing the work isn't sexy. Doing the work is considered like the side quest. The main quest is to get that money, have that lifestyle, get some Insta pics, look good on camera, live your best lie. This is what everything in our society is telling us, as with this constant the doom scrolling and the fact that we have this fucking payaso as the president elect of the United States. It's like this is what is fortified in our country. It's no wonder nobody wants to do the work. Well, except for, there's women who are coming to my event December 14th in New York. So there are some people out there who are looking to do the work.
There is, but I think that we. Sorry, I had to get in my car because I got an appointment that I need to be at. I lost track of time, but yeah, no, I think we definitely need to emphasize that, especially because of who is in office and what the plan is going forward. Women definitely need to have both their physical and spiritual eyes open. They need to use discernment, and they need to really understand who they're dealing with, because we're going into critical times.
Yes, we are.
These males are acting out of desperation. They're acting out, and they're going to continue to, because, like I said, they've been given absolute unchecked power.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Well, you know what? We're going to let you drive safely, Cynthia. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. People want to know where you're going live at. Where can they catch it?
I'm going live tomorrow from my channel.
Oh, you have a channel again?
Yes, they only deleted one of my channels. I had two bigger channels. That wasn't even my original channel that they deleted. I still have my original channel with about 65,000 subs on it.
Oh, that's so wild because the channel that we put up, it was gone. And then, then we put up another one and that one was gone too. I didn't see any other ones.
Yeah, so I actually have like 2 more channels.
Oh,
So,
okay. So what is the channel
yeah,
that people can see you going live on? That's the question.
it says Cynthia G. I'm gonna put the link on the community wall. I will be live on YouTube. Usually when I go live, I'm not live on YouTube because I kind of don't like the toxicity of being on YouTube.
I feel you.
And so most of the time I just go live on Patreon, but I'm gonna go live publicly on YouTube tomorrow to talk about, the Cooley situation, which hopefully you will talk about that too if you haven't already.
What Cooley?
With the dude. So he's the dude that has a video in particular talking about how single mothers need to only be used for recreational use, but he's with a white woman who is a single mother with 2 white kids, and he's impregnated her.
Oh, Lord.
And it's his advice, yeah, and he's trying to backtrack now. Because he's been exposed to be dealing with a 2-time single mother while playing stepdaddy to a white man's kid.
Damn. That's deep right there.
So I will be talking about that because I already told them when they say no to single mothers, they mean say no to black single mothers. But nobody wanted to hear me, so now I kind of got to be on my I told you so. But it is. But yeah, that's the situation.
Yeah, but question, who is he and what qualifies him for us to care about his opinion? Who is he?
He's a podcaster. He's a podcaster with a large platform.
Oh my goodness. But so hold on. Why do we keep making these men famous? Why?
Because we have issues, but I'm running into this appointment. I actually have to go.
All right. Talk to you. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, though.
All right. Oh man. I don't even know what to say. I don't understand why we keep giving these. Did we reach the time for our next dance break? Oh my goodness. All right. So listen, I'm going to read to you. We're going to be getting out of here after we come back, but I'm going to be reading you the domestic violence checklist so that we can figure out if we are in an abusive relationship and may not even realize it. Okay? So let's see if we can find something to dance to right now.
Hey. El rachetón. Vámonos, baby, vente, vámonos. Vine solo al party y me voy con 2. Hey, vámonos, baby, vente, vámonos.
So now we got, listen, now we got reggaeton trap music. Like, come on. It's like these people, they love the rhythm, but they can't stand the blues. It's like, come on. Let's see what this is right here.
Body real nice, I'm a centerfold. Make him take me to the mall and cop 10 of those. I don't want your man, I ain't in the hose. Got a big ass real soft like a dinner roll.
Oh, we listened to this the other day. Her booty was soft like a dinner roll. I just added that. Let's see what else we got here. Those are the only suggestions they have for us. Oh, look, there's another one. Go all in. Let's see what this is.
Empty bottles of red wine laying on the floor.
Oh, we listened to that already. Let me, I got to do some search for, I got to do a search for some new music so we can have some new music on our, whatchamacallit. All right, listen. All right, if you ready, let's get up to the dance to some happy song. Let's go.
I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. I feel like the ocean. I can see you want this too. Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know that I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
Oh, that went by too fast. Man. So if you did that song, that was another 3 minutes of movement added. And if there's ever a song you want to know the name of on the broadcast, all you have to do is Shazam it. Man, that was so good. I enjoyed that. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I did hot yoga today. So I have, oh shoot, I've closed all my rings. So, but for you out there who haven't, we're going to keep it going. Let's get our 30 minutes back up on the clock. Man, that was fun. That song was fun. I enjoyed that. I really did. And I feel, you know what? In terms of my low blood count, I can tell that I'm almost fully healed. I say I'm about like 95% now. After that dance, yeah, I'm almost back. I'm almost back, y'all. I'm almost back. I feel so good. All right. Dior, I hope you got up and danced. I need you all to start thinking about your self-love lessons because you're going to have your opportunity to speak and share what your self-love lessons are at the end of this broadcast. So start thinking about that now. This is what we're doing now. We're going to go through the domestic abuse checklist. Oh, someone's calling. Let me go through this first, and then I'll call you back, okay? I'll call you back. All right, because I feel that this is important to go over. All right, let me try to make this smaller because I don't want to forget this because it's so important because there's so many people who are in abusive relationships and they don't realize it because they don't know what the abuse may look like. Because, you know, it looks different than what it is that we see on TV. All right, so am I in an abusive relationship? Am I afraid? And so you can Pause this. You can put the checks on your paper, and then at the end, you're going to sum up your checks. So you can just put a check on your paper so that you know, right? Am I in an abusive relationship? Am I afraid to disagree with my partner? Does my partner's temper scare me? Does my partner cut me off from my friends and family? Is my partner very jealous? Does my partner follow and or check up on me? Does my partner call me names or yell at me? Does my partner try to control the way I dress or who I see? Let me make this a little wider. Or who I see, okay? Do I hide things from him or her as to not upset him or her? Am I afraid to say no to sex? Has my partner threatened to kill me or commit suicide if I leave? Does my partner throw and or break objects in anger? So get your check marks down. If you need to pause this and replay it, the video will stay up so you can do that as well. Next, what is a healthy relationship? You feel safe and comfortable with each other. You laugh and have fun. Communication is often spontaneous. You listen to each other and feel that you are heard. You decide things together. You can express your feelings without fear of your partner's reactions. You can talk about conflict directly and resolve it with win-win outcomes. Feelings and needs are expressed, appreciated, and respected by both. You can be together as a couple without losing your sense of yourself. Each encourages personal growth, change, and exploration. Your lives outside of the relationship make your relationship stronger. Other meaningful relationships and interests exist for both partners. You can take responsibility for your own behavior and happiness. Your partner does not try to change or control you when you disagree. You can say no without feeling guilty about it. You can trust each other. You work hard to be trustworthy to the other. This is very important because there's a lot of people getting cheated on out there and they don't realize that that's abuse. Cheating is abuse. There's a balance on giving and receiving in your relationship. Each person can enjoy being alone, and requests for privacy are respected. Both people recognize that all violence is unacceptable. And that's the checklist. So so go through your checklist. And if you are in an abusive relationship, here's help is available. Oh, this will call it right from here. The telephone number is 800-799-7233. There's also chat that is available. So if you just Google domestic violence, it'll come up, help is available. And there are websites that will close automatically. So the number is 800-799-SAFE. And you can chat with someone, you can talk to somebody, you can get help, because it doesn't look like what they show you on TV. It looks like what it looks like in your relationship when you're afraid to speak up, when your partner's temper frightens you, and those sorts of things. So if you found that helpful, you can go ahead and put up a number 3. I'm going to open up the phone lines, and I'm going to take this last call, and then we're going to get out of here because we've been on for almost 3 hours. And once the broadcast gets long like this, it starts having problems. So let's go and call this last person back.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Let me try again. You're on Your Life with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, it's Marilyn, and I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, your name is Marilyn and you're calling from Maryland?
Yeah.
All right. So talk to me. What's your comment this evening?
My comment is one of the ways you can vet a particular partner is to put them in a vulnerable position. So, um, how I'm going to say, if you ask them about their previous relationships, and she was called a B, he says terrible things about his ex, and this is a very big red flag.
Okay. So are you going to make this relevant to you?
Oh, I can say this is my testimony. This is my
Okay. Let's
testimony.
let's hear your
It,
testimony.
I was divorced and I had moved to the U.S. I wasn't really familiar with stuff like healthcare. Mm.
Okay.
So a couple of years of me being here, I was in a lot of debt for healthcare,
Okay.
and so I ended up marrying someone um, that I thought was stable. Mm?
Okay.
Good job. He retired military. He taught school. Yeah, but if I asked him about his previous wife, oh my God, he's gonna have you crying at how bad she treated him.
Mhm.
So I would say one of the things that I did not pay attention to was I I was very tired. I was very broken. I was broke, and this person riding like on a white horse. Eh?
Mhm.
But so I I had to admit I was actively looking for someone that had the stability, so I would not have to continue to work.
Okay, so when did you realize? So basically, when he talked about his ex, you realized that these were red flags in hindsight because he was throwing the pity party. Just like I said, when people
Yeah,
are in their victim energy, I don't play along with it. I don't. So thank you
yeah.
so much for adding that. Thank you, Marilyn.
Mm. You're welcome. There was one other thing that I wanted to add.
Okay.
If a person accepts, abuse, they accept abuse or trauma, then there's people that can read that.
Can what? I didn't understand. Can read that.
And I have tardive dyskinesia, so it makes my mouth weird. So I try to talk slow.
Okay, I didn't understand what you said. Say the last sentence again.
If a person
Mm-hmm.
has had trauma in other areas, like at their job, with family members,
Yeah.
not just the person you're dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it builds up a tolerance, to look at somebody around you and say, oh, that's what I need. Oh, this is a blessing from God or something.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't have boundaries in just about anything. I didn't have boundaries in my job. I didn't have boundaries with family.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Well, you did you do? So you said you're from Scandinavia.
No, no, I'm from Canada. I'm from Canada.
This is more than a Canadian accent. Come
No,
on.
I have tardive. I have tardive dyskinesia, so it gives my voice a funny little sound.
You said you have discarned.
Tardive, Tardive,
Okay.
dyskinesia. D-Y,
Okay,
I can't
okay,
spell the word, but
okay. It's a chronic condition that causes involuntary repetitive movements of the body. It's usually caused by taking certain medications for a long time, particularly antipsychotics, but can also be caused by other medications. Symptoms include blinking rapidly, chewing motions, frowning or grimacing, lip smacking or puckering, sticking out the tongue, rocking the pelvis.
mm.
Okay. So, hey, I
You're
mean,
funny. You're so funny.
swaying from side to side, tapping the feet, waddling when walking. Oh, so
Yeah,
you're saying that your accent is from the tardive dyskinesia?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But the one thing when I first married my ex spouse,
Uh-huh.
I was dealing with trauma from a job
Oh, I
where
see.
I had been. I worked for a bank, and so I was robbed, and I really wanted to not have to go to work and have the time to look for another job.
Oh, I see. So you wanted someone to take care of you in the interim. All
Yeah,
right.
there you
I
go.
feel you. I feel you.
Exactly.
I feel
There you
you.
go.
And then when
And
you became
and
vulnerable, then things went awry.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. After I had a brain injury, and then then he said I'm a lemon. I'm a lemon. Yeah.
What happened? You had a
And,
brain injury and then he found other women?
yeah, he did that, but he decided I was a lemon.
Oh, he decided you were a lemon.
Yeah,
Oh, he
yeah.
left
And
you
this
while you
went
were
on.
not well.
No, he stayed. I was somebody he could abuse every day. You know, he said, "Oh, you're a lemon. Why did I marry you?" You know.
Oh, wow. Oh,
So
my goodness.
now at this point, right, you're vulnerable. So that would be the other thing I would say. If
Got you.
if you're ill or your children are ill or you don't have appropriate health insurance,
Yeah. So how did
then
you finally get away?
he put me out on the day of our anniversary.
Well, that's an anniversary present, all right.
Yeah, heck, yeah. It rolled over. It rolled over 4 times. The divorce rolled over 4 times.
The
And
what rolled over 4 times?
the years of
Oh,
me being with him, it rolled over. It
oh.
rolled over and over. So it wasn't. It didn't happen until I was vulnerable when I was
Got
sick.
you. Got you. Yeah, so he was on. So so what you're saying is that his personality, all of that was fine, except for him complaining about his ex. It was only when you became vulnerable that he then kind of showed his true color. So he was,
Yeah, exactly. That's I know I'm hard to understand, but that is the situation exactly.
oh, wow.
Mm.
Well. I appreciate you adding this to the conversation. Thank you.
And thank you, Tonya. Love you.
All right. All right. We, all right. So listen, I am going to ask you all for your self-love lessons. I'm turned off the phone line now because we've been on for almost 3 hours. I did not expect this. And I have a lot of reading, and my final project is coming up. So we have got to get out of here. Listen, where's my belt? I'm gonna grab my flip-flop and listen, you all out, listen, you better, don't play with me out there. Don't play with me. Come on, let's go. Let's get our self-love lessons together. I want you to type out SLL. Type out SLL and let's, all right. Type out SLL and let's get these self-love lessons up. Can is late to the party, tardy to the party by like 11 weeks. I'm in grad school. Where you been? You're not looking at my channel, my board, nothing. So I want to see some SLL. Let's see self-love lessons. I want you to type it from the positive affirmative with an I statement. Your self-love lesson has to come from you. What did you learn about loving yourself from watching this broadcast? Come on. All right, SLL, we're going to use the positive affirmative, so we're not going to use words like not, don't, never. We're going to only talk about what we do want. So, I complete myself. All right, so come on. Oh, you know, we never talked about the event. You all know that I'm doing an event in December called New Self. There's only one ticket left, and there's somebody who's meant to be there who hasn't gotten their ticket yet. All right, come on, get your self-love lessons together. Here. I will learn to be more patient and compassionate and kind to myself and others. I know that's right. Oh, that went by too fast. That was fun. That was fun. I will be more kind. I'll allow the less snappy at the end of that because we are talking about what we do want. So I will be more kind and more what? Instead of less snappy, you will be more what? All right, let's see. I'm going to put on some lo-fi music so that we're not tempted to get up and dance. All right. I am worthy and deserving of the love I give. Beautiful. I will listen to my woman's intuition. Okay, so can, instead of less snappy, talk about what you will be more of. Loving myself is fun and I love doing it. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. I love that. All right, let's see what else we have here. Today was a great broadcast. I'm glad that we came out. I, cursed and stuff a little bit in the beginning, but I'm glad that certain people left the broadcast and that the people who were meant to be here stayed. SLL, loving myself is fun and I love doing it. Okay, we read that one. Perfect. While we're doing that, I'm gonna pull up my more patient. Okay, I will be more kind and more patient. Yes, especially when it comes to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're on this journey with yourself. Like, this is the ride that you're on, and you have got to take care of yourself. All right, so here, this is New Self right here. This is the event that we're having. And I'll put the link here. You know what? I'm not even gonna put the link. There's only one more ticket. The person that it's meant for knows that it's for them, and they will come to my website and find it. I'm not publicizing it. I'm talking about it because there's just one ticket left. So I feel that there's still one person out there who's been needing to hear about it. So we talked about it a little bit earlier in the broadcast. You can go to the website and read about it. The admin is putting the link there. It's on my website, TonyaTKO.com. You scroll down and you will see it. So let me talk about the self-love lesson that I have gained, right? I trust myself to make the best decisions for my life. I'll give myself more time in the day to appreciate my appearance and how I present myself. Okay. Learn that how to look inward in any situation rather than judging their actions. So it's a CRM also. I don't know what the CRM means. I don't know what CRM means. Isn't that content something? I'm not sure what that means. So let me talk about what my self-love lesson from today's broadcast has been. And in today's broadcast, So you know what? There's so many. So one of the self-love lessons that I learned in today's broadcast is about standing in my purpose unapologetically and being okay with the fact that I'm not everyone's flavor. I use the word not. Let me go back. Okay. My self-love lesson is about really embracing who it is that I am and being confident that those who resonate will gravitate. Bars, right? Another one of my self-love lessons is about being okay with where I am. Dancing here tonight with you all, it reminded me about how after my surgery, all I could do was sway side to side, and I was so out of breath from just anything. And now, I'm just so thankful for my health. I'm thankful that I allowed myself to heal in the time and space that I needed to heal. Because when the time was right and I was well and better, I'm able to move better. So loving myself where I am. I would say no judgment, but the word no is in that statement. So really appreciating where I am in the journey and honoring that space. So my self-love lesson is that. Another one of my self-love lessons is about loving myself enough. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. Loving myself enough that I don't hold on to the rumors, to old discord, that I am so firmly rooted in who it is that I am, how it is that I show up, and how I navigate and represent myself in the face of what's coming at me, so that when the dust settles, I can be proud of how I behaved, so that I have and continue to represent myself in the way that I am proud of, right? So I'm looking for these self-love lessons, right, on the screen. Let me just help somebody real quick. Watch a comment disappear. Boop. So another one of my self-love lessons is about doing the work. And doing the work is not just, ooh, I don't want to use the word not. Doing the work is doing the internal work, and doing the work is also reading, researching, making sure that the information that I give has been cultivated, curated, and expounded. Another one of my self-love lessons is about loving myself enough to allow other opinions. Loving myself enough to want to get to the truth and aligning myself with what is true, whatever that may be. Aligning with the truth and staying on the search for truth, right? Another one of my self-love lessons from today is that one more minute before the dance? We just finished dancing. Let me stop this now because you all are going to have to do your dance in your house, right? Another one of my self-love lessons is, for where it is that I am right now in my journey. So when I shift into being another person, I will show up as that other person. And for the time being, for the human being that I am right now, one of my self-love lessons is about being true to me. Seriously, like being true to myself. And that truth sometimes shows up as a person getting cussed the fuck out. Okay. No. Okay, I'm gonna make it better. Okay. My final self-love lesson really is all right. Tymisha says, your self-love lesson has to be with an I statement. You have to state your self-love lesson with an I. I what? So instead of talking about other people, because if there's anything that we need to learn on this channel is that we have to reflect inward. So if your self-love lesson is to put your children first, finally, then state that you will finally put your children first. State that. And we can respect that. Sweep your doorstep. All right? So my final self-love lesson is about being comfortable with all of my emotions, from happiness to sadness to anger to even sometimes I feel envy, being comfortable and searching in myself for where those feelings come from, like really examining. And part of the reason that I implemented, because I had to do some inner work, and I realized that I realized that part of what made me curse people out on the phone is when I'm having conversations with them and I'm talking and they're talking over me and all of this. This is why I've implemented the rule. When I begin to speak, you must stop talking, right? It has stopped me from cursing people out because I had to do that work to realize what was the trigger, what's triggering me into beginning to curse people out. So people are like, I hung up on a person. Yeah, but if I would have cursed her out, then there would have been some problems there too. There were only two options, right? Actually, there were three. Let her continue to bloviate, breaking the rules on my show. 2, cuss her the fuck out. Or 3, hang up on her. I thought, because you know what? Because the last thing I want to do, because I have not to this day cursed a woman out on my program. I've cursed men out, yes. I don't want to be up here cursing women out. So she got the lucky end of the stick where all she did was get disconnected. And there's still people who have an issue with that. And my self-love lesson is to be okay with the people who have an issue with that and let them go on their way. Let them go. Go be with who you want to be with. It's not me. And my self-love lesson is maintaining that that detachment, maintaining the detachment from people's attachment to me. Go be with who you want to be with. That goes for man, woman, or child. Go. I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm not running behind people. I'm not even worried about them going. I will help you find the door, baby. I will assist you in packing. I'll pack for shit. On that note, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm your host, Tonya TKO. Come over to my website, TonyaTKO.com. Follow my journey in grad school. I have my blogs up. I need to incorporate all of the blogs. I appreciate you all for coming out. Thank you. Let me get some music up here. Come on, let me get some outro music. Should we put on something